That is right. Today we are going to, surprise microphone, we are going to figure out whether or not these people writing in on these very stories are in fact a-holes. Imagine me looking at this camera like this. And then that, and then this, and then that, and then that. Okay, here we go. We're going to start off with the first one. It says, AITA for snapping at a coworker for being an obnoxious busybody when I dropped my coffee. Just on the title alone, I don't like when people call each other obnoxious, because generally somebody's, excited, right? But you know what? That's just me. That's just me lying to myself, because there are, in fact, obnoxious people in this world. It just feels mean. Last week, when I, 35 male, was walking back into work from my break, the lid popped off of my large iced coffee and the entire drink spilled in the front doorway of my lab building. I looked down, sighed F me, because I really needed the caffeine, and started walking to the bathroom to grab some paper towels. Bruh, this has happened to, I feel like, everybody in the world, everybody in the planet. My heart breaks for this fella. And the fact that he's out there in a laboratory, Dexter, out here in his lab. And here comes Dee Dee, a friend, 24, female, from my lab, was walking in at the same time, and she also darted off to grab some paper towels. But the second that I dropped it, another older woman, 55 female, from a different lab who was on her way out for the night, started loudly yelling, "Op, you need to clean that up," in a condescending tone down a hallway of private offices. Okay, so we got this lady yelling at me for needing to clean something up. Okay, I am in the act of cleaning. I just spilled it. Unless it was their attempt at a very funny joke. For example, if I'm sitting at a table around my team and somebody stands up and like the chair falls back, for example, I think it would be very funny to say, "Hey, would you mind picking that chair up?" When obviously that's what they're going to do, right? Maybe this is a joke the lady's doing, but let's see. That's probably not the case. I kind of raised my eyebrow and kept walking to the men's room to grab the paper towels, but a couple of seconds later, when she got to the doorway, she yelled, "Up, come back and clean this up right now." Okay, so we got somebody who has no understanding of human behavior. Or she thinks you're 14 and you're like a middle school student. Maybe this is like a former vice principal of a middle school. That's the volume and the pacing. And what I'm reading right here, I'm picturing an administrator from like my middle school or high school being like, "All right, lunch is over. Go on. It's time to get to class." That's the feeling that this gives me. Up, come back and clean this up right now. And I turned around and yelled, "With frickin' what, Kim? Did you want me to plop down and sit on it? I'm getting paper towels." Yeah, pretty good. She started yelling back, "Oh yeah, well you better be." But I cut her off and loudly said, "Bye," with a hand wave and all of the energy of F right off to hell, and she went on her way. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a good response. Yeah, no, I don't know. If people are dogging you, you know what? You encountered a dog that just likes to bark. Sometimes in life, we encounter people who are actually dogs in disguise who just like to bark. I don't know if y'all hear me right now. I'm spitting some major truth right now. There are some people in this world who are dogs that just like to bark. I currently being one of them. And they know that there's nothing you can do about it. They know that you're on your way to fix the problem. They know that you are working to change the situation, and yet they bark. And yet they're barking, dude. And I think it's fine in that moment. You can bark back, sure. Like this situation, pretty smart. Put that woman, gave her a situational awareness. Another option that you could do is you could just understand, that's a dog barking, and go about your day. This was when my friend popped back out with some paper towels and asked, "What the F is her problem?" Shout out to your friend, dude. She laughed when I told her about the exchange and said it was wild behavior on her part, but I still felt pretty embarrassed that I snapped at an older lady and childishly yelled "bye" in a sing-song tone and waved her off. AITA. Yeah, I don't love that. I mean, I don't love yelling at somebody 20 years your senior, but if they're talking to you like a child and if they're acting like you are dumber than them when you're clearly going to fix the issue, they need to be corrected. I just don't know in what way. I don't know your relationship with this person. At the end of the day, though, I don't see anything wrong. Do you? Yeah. AITA? No, I don't think so. Let's see what the comments have to say. NTA, I would have yelled right back, "What the F do you think I'm doing, Deborah? Piss off unless you want to clean it up yourself." And she would have minded her own damn business. NTA, your coworker acting like you were a child at the daycare she works at. She deserved to get told off. Yeah, it's weird. It's middle school administrator. It's a young man, come back here and get your books. You know what? I don't know. NTA, an older woman being 55. Ouch. I think they meant older in relation to themselves. Yeah. Not an old woman, but older because she's older than that. Yeah. Age is such a strange thing. It's just a weird thing because the universe is like 14 billion years old, and we're here for like a little droplet of time. And somebody being 55, somebody being 35. It's like that matters so much in our small lifetimes. Yeah, just a quick little existential break, huh, guys? All right. NTA, she assumed the worst of you and embarrassed you in public, bossing you around. Yeah. That's what it is. You wrote in there earlier, it was in a condescending tone, down the hallway in front of every other room in a lab, which this is like a highly educated area. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like you guys work at a freaking Chuck E. Cheese or anything. You're in a lab. Labs are specialized locations where specialized skill sets go to do specialized work. And this woman was shouting at you like you were 14. Nobody wants to drop their coffee. Cam? Let's move on. AITA for refusing to help my boyfriend's dying mother while planning a trip to Europe. Oof. Big oof here. I, 25 female, live with my boyfriend Liam, 24 male. About a month ago, his mom, Tanya, began claiming she's dying of cancer, but no diagnosis has been confirmed. Every hospital visit ends with her being sent home. A nurse even told Liam she might be faking. We talked about this in another video. It was something like fictitious disorder. That's what it's called. Yeah. Munchausen. Used to be Munchausen, now it's fictitious disorder. Okay, so that's what they're thinking here. It started when she stayed one night at our one-bedroom apartment. That turned into a week of chaos. She refused air conditioning and fans, said that they hurt her skin, but blow-dried her hair daily. The apartment smelled awful. Everything had to be dark and silent, and she constantly demanded help. She even stormed into our bedroom at 3 a.m. asking Liam for massages. We sleep naked, so that was awkward. She criticized our Buddhist souvenirs, insisted we hang a cross. I did, and complained nonstop. What? Okay, so it seems like this person really, really wants attention. God forbid they're actually sick. Right now, I'm of the belief currently that they're not sick based on what I'm hearing, but let's continue. She suggested that we move in with her an hour from our jobs and school. I'm a full-time student with 2 jobs and a 4.0 GPA, and I was falling behind. Liam, who works full-time, switched to remote work. His boss hated this, to care for Tanya, his mom. Her health updates were always shifting. MRI, canceled surgery, then chemo postponed due to infection. What infection? Is this real? Did this happen? Then E. coli, always a new reason, no clear diagnosis or paperwork. When her husband David, who funds her lifestyle, was away, she made us go to her house to get her jewelry because she thinks he'll steal it when she dies. He is an alcoholic, according to her. We were supposed to take her to the ER right after, but we ended up staying 16 hours doing chores. I folded 420 clothing items, cleaned the whole house, and felt like her unpaid maid. Not a single please or thank you. She was stalling to go to the ER, and when we finally got there at 5 a.m., she said she'd check herself in and sent us home. 3 hours later, she called again, sobbing for help. She had been rejected by the ER. I suspect she faked it. If she actually is sick, there is a thing that exists in some people where if they're sick, if they're ill, they're horrified of what they'll be told. They're horrified of the outcome, and so they resist it. They don't go. I don't think that's the situation. It might be that, nose to the fire. She doesn't want to go in there because she knows she's making this up. It's like some weird, twisted hypochondriac Liam and I have been skipping meals, losing sleep, and falling behind at work to help her. He once said he's waiting for her to pass away so we can move to Europe. He's been forced to managing her divorce, lawyer meetings, and funeral prep. So funeral prep, is it confirmed or no? Meanwhile, David, her husband, who is paying the hospital bills and has been kept in the dark about all this, sent Liam aggressive texts like, I call BS and don't show up at my house no more, and then later apologized. Tanya called again begging for help, but this time she wanted me because David is jealous of Liam. I had clearly told Liam that I needed that weekend to study for final exams, and going to that house alone seemed sketchy. Now I'm planning a 2 to 3 week Europe trip to see my mom, whom I haven't seen in over a year. Liam says he supports it, but called it a little selfish. He's asked, if I were dying, would you quit your job to be with me? And if it were your mom, would you help her? I felt pressured to say yes, but the truth is my family wouldn't lie to me or use me like this. I love Liam and want to be there for him, but I don't trust his mom, and this is starting to affect our relationship. AITA for refusing to help Tanya and going home to Europe. Wait, you're going home to see your mom? So 2 to 3 week trip? Are y'all married? Did he put a ring on your finger? Doesn't seem it. And you want to go home and see your mom? I think Liam is a little overwhelmed. Okay. I think he's trying to keep you there because he doesn't know how to handle his mom by himself because she's a lot of work and he knows that it's going to be miserable for 2 to 3 weeks. He knows that. He may believe that she is dying. She may be. I don't know. But her going to these places and not showing any proof, any evidence of anything is very strange. Not that you have to like prove that you're sick, but if you're pulling on everybody, this is a really weird situation. She's definitely overextending herself, this mother. She's doing quite a lot. I think if you're going to ask for all of that, all that help and assistance and make these wild accusations like my alcoholic husband is going to steal my jewelry or, he's jealous of Liam and like, all these things, it's just very, I'm going to have to see some receipts. This is what I would say. If I were her, I'd be like, hey, if you really want my help, I need to go in there with you. I want to talk to the doctor with you. Can I please come talk to your doctor with you? I want to understand your frustrations. I want to be in there and share that burden with you. I insist on it. In fact, I need to be there. Yeah, this sounds like fictitious disorder. Diagnosis or no? There's something wrong with this woman. Yeah, mentally. Since I'm pretty sure she is not sick, at least not physically, you are definitely in TA. It's time your boyfriend to get real and tell his mom to set up a family meeting with her oncologist to discuss her treatment and next steps, or he's done. This is the normal progression when treating this disease. In and out of ERs is not. Yeah, ER is not a place. Well, actually, I don't know. I assume an ER is a place where you could get the initial diagnosis. Sure. But no, you have an ongoing oncologist if you have a diagnosis, yeah? We need guidance from the medical experts as to how we can best help her, and it has to be in person to ensure nothing gets lost in translation. What a sick joke to play on your own son. Here we go. That's right. Oncologists always do family meetings and discuss plans. Okay, so it's common to have family support. And I guess that makes sense because you're getting a crazy diagnosis. And she's out here planning her funeral? Ultimately, it's family that goes through it, not just the patient. So it's quite a standard procedure. Put your foot down for the diagnosis. No family meeting with doctors, then no help. I think this is correct. I think it's 100% correct. Everything I was saying before was because I didn't have the knowledge of whether or not they had any clarity at all, I guess. But obviously there's no clarity and people are surmising that she's absolutely faking it. So yeah, I think it's time to get the clarity. Clarity first and next steps later. If no medical diagnosis, then get her to a therapist, baby, or psychologist or psychiatrist, because those can prescribe medication. Because I assume fictitious disorder is similar to other like anxiety-related disorders to where you feel like you have to do rituals and routines such as OCD or something in order to get a result. And not cutesy little, oh, that pencil is crooked routines. People with OCD understand it's like, repetitive, obsessive. You obsessively have to pursue this thing. You have to dig and dig and dig until you get to the end result. And this is a different version of that. And not OCD. And I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm just saying Munchausen's, fictitious disorder, ugly mental illness. And it is a cancer in your family disguised as cancer, weirdly enough. Break up, move out, go on vacation, stop dealing with crazy mom and boyfriend. Liam is going to F around and find out he's slowly losing up. Yeah, I mean, yes, this poor woman has to put her foot down and tell her boyfriend, like, dude, your mom could be faking this. NTA, I know you love your boyfriend, but you need to ask yourself if you're willing to give up your own life for him and his mom, because it's never going to stop. It could stop if he chooses to set boundaries, but it doesn't sound like he'll do that. Oh, Op replied. Here we go. Thank you. He's assured me multiple times that I'm his priority. If I told him to stay with me instead of going to the hospital, he would. And the only times I'll ever ask him to stay is when I can tell his own health is suffering from it. He's also ready to move to Europe with me. It's just that he's getting guilt tripped by his own mother. Oh, she's controlling him to stay in the country. So he wanted to move to Europe with you. I see. Yeah. Every time he tries to leave the hospital, she falls to her knees and says stuff like, God will bless you more if you stay. This is our last meal together. Or I have no one. I am all alone. And that's what gets to him. He tries to leave the hospital. hospital. So is she in the hospital getting diagnosed? What's going on? Does she have cancer or not? I don't know. Recently, he's asked me to come to the hospital with him to give him a reason to leave early. When we tried to explain to her that we have an appointment elsewhere, she cut us off and said, just go then. She didn't care for an explanation. When Liam said, bye, Mom, I love you, she just snapped back, actions speak louder than words, don't call me anymore. But then 2 hours later, she calls him and begs for him to come back. I don't get it. Narcissist. Weird, manipulative, emotionally abusive tactics. If you have a terminal diagnosis, I've met some people with terminal illnesses, and they have been really even-keeled, oddly just zen. They're why? Because they are looking death in the face, and they're seeing what is important and what is unimportant in life. And not everybody is easy, breezy, peachy keen about this, but a lot of folks, when they're faced with the terminal illness, they just kind of zoom out, and they're like floating in outer space, seemingly by themselves, and they have like a zen-ness to them. This is not that. This is very manipulative and strange. Please just talk to them. Just get some proof. That's all I'm asking. That's all these people are asking. Just get some proof. And even then, you got to be like, I understand that you're sick. We're students. I work 3 jobs. You have a 4.0 and you work 3 jobs. You're amazing. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And you're dealing with this narcissistic mother? Awful. Whew, let's shake that one off. AITA for not cooking breakfast for my niece and nephew. My sister, my being 36-year-old male, sister being 34-year-old female, moved into my house about 2 months ago with her 2 kids, 7-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, after she ended a really bad relationship. I've always been an early-ish riser. Oh my God, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of early risers. Natural early risers. Oh, you get the world. You get the world. Ooh, I wish I could have energy at 6 a.m. Oh, to have energy at 6 a.m. Let's continue. I've always been an early-ish riser and like to get up and make myself some breakfast at around 7 or 8 a.m. Nothing spectacular, just whatever I felt like that day. When my sister moved in, I realized quickly that she liked to sleep in. Some days she was up as late as 1 p.m., meaning like she was sleeping until 1 p.m. I gave her the benefit of the doubt since I knew how hard her breakup was for her. Homie, that's depresso. That is a symptom at least. That is a symptom at least. Like long sleeps. That's a symptom of depresso, can be. Since my sister slept so late daily, she wouldn't get up and take care of her kids. I got into a routine with my niece and nephew that basically whenever I could myself for breakfast, I'd make enough for them as well until the other morning. I woke up and had an urge to make huevos rancheros. Dog, who are you? You wake up with an urge to make huevos rancheros, dude? Freaking yummy! I want huevos rancheros now. I want to stop this video and eat huevos rancheros right now. If you are eating lunch right now, I need you to comment what food you're eating, and I'm going to read them. I need ideas for lunch. I've never understood lunch. I get breakfast, eggs, sausage. Breakfast, I understand. Lunch, no clue. What do you do? You open your mouth, put a can of tuna in there, squirt of mayo. Is that what you do for lunch? Is that what you people do? What do people do? A cheese stick? You know what I had for lunch today? A protein shake. Not even a good one. Not like a peanut butter, smoothie thing with protein in it. No. I had Soylent, is what it looks like. Isn't that depressing? Look at that. I woke up and had the urge to make huevos rancheros. I forgot what we were talking about entirely. The kids immediately started complaining that they didn't want that and wanted something different. Oh, wait a minute. Did you just become a dad? Well, let me say this. They are 7 years old and 4 years old. So they got into a routine and a habit where they see you as somebody who's cooking for them. They don't understand. They see that you are an adult and they're like, hey, oh, well, we don't want that. Because for them, they need an adult to make their breakfast. That is just what happens. So we're not blaming the kids, right? I just want to make sure, going forward, we're not blaming the kids. I was nice and ended up making them pancakes since it's not their fault that their mom is really struggling. The next morning, I was making breakfast potatoes and eggs, but all I heard was, we don't want that. We want something different. Okay, see, now happens once. Interesting. Happens twice. You're their chef. And I think even parents would be like, nope, that's not what you're getting. I'm cooking this, so you're getting this. A dad would do that. You want a ham and cheese sandwich for breakfast? That's crazy, because you're having eggs. and you're going to eat it. The next morning, I was making breakfast potatoes and eggs, but all I heard was, we don't want that. We want something different. So again, I obliged. Finally, after 3 mornings of my unwanted food critics getting a separate meal, I finally told them I'm no longer cooking 2 different meals for breakfast. If you don't like what I'm making, go ask your mom to get up and do it. That's fine. Well, not that I'm the judge or anything, but how I feel is, that's fine. That's great. You know, you're saying, hey, I'll make a little extra something for you guys if you want of my meal. But if you want something different, then you have to go ask your mom. That's fair. So they went upstairs to wake her up, but she still didn't come downstairs until after 1 p.m. The kids immediately started complaining that I refused to feed them, and my sister was pissed. She started in about how they need to be fed by a certain time and a bunch of other things that she said to try and intentionally hurt me. I snapped and told her, look, I know you're depressed, but wake up and take care of your effing kids instead of expecting me to do it. Yeah. I don't know. Someone's got to snap her out of it. It's been like this for days and days. She got quiet after that and is still giving me the cold shoulder. But I know she's expecting me to apologize. Oh, she's just processing. Sorry this was long-winded, but let me have it. AITA. No! No. In families, sometimes it is expected to lean on each other. There's give and there's take. Hey, you got my back today. I got your back tomorrow. You know, the things like that. That is nice. It's nice that you cook for these kids. It's interesting that they started getting really like demandy about what kinds of food. I do think it is important to communicate to the mom and be like, what did you think was going to happen here? You got to change what you're doing. Why are you not getting out of bed until 1 p.m.? What time are you going to bed? Are you on your phone all day? Get that phone out of that room. Why don't we? Something's off. Something is off. Sleeping till 1 p.m. means she's missing their breakfast and lunch. Ages 7 and 4 are still pretty dependent on an adult for balanced meals. Your sister is lame. I want to know who was feeding the kids before this, since it sure doesn't seem like mom gives a crap. And what happens if one of the kids wakes up during the night, a nightmare, or not feeling well? Does she throw a fit for them waking her up? If your sister can't get up to feed her own kids, then she should not have them. Oof. Boom. It's time to feed our kids. It's time to feed our kids. It's time to feed our kids. It's time to feed our kids, baby. It's time to feed them kids, baby. They're only 7 and 4. They're only 7. NTA, number 1, you're right. Despite anything she's going through, your sister is still the children's mother, and they're her responsibility. It is unfair of her to expect you to make them breakfast so she can sleep in. Number 2, it is very kind of you to cook for them anyway, but that doesn't mean you have to go out of your way. There is nothing wrong with expecting the kids to eat what you're making. You're not a short order cook. And finally, in my experience, always cooking what the kids ask for is a quick way to turn them into overly picky eaters. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. So maybe there's a little tip in there for some parents to be here, nestled in this. If you are pregnant and you are dating someone who's pregnant, just have the kids eat what you made, but get their palates used to some new food information, hey? NTA, you said it yourself. Look, I know you're depressed, but wake up and take care of your effing kids. I assume she's not paying rent or helping you with any of the expenses. She's just laying around sleeping. You should have a serious sit down with her and stop all of this crap right now. Look, hey, listen up. A severe depressive episode needs a lot of hands on deck. If it is possible for her to go see a therapist, make it so. If it's not possible, then this is one of those hard conversations you got to have with your sister. It's like, look, man, I know it's tough, but you got to do it anyway. Just do it anyway. We'll put on music early in the morning. We'll make a little dance party. I'll help you, getting up and we'll cook together. We'll make it a family endeavor, a family event. We got to get you out of this slump because I cannot be dad right now. Being sad doesn't excuse her from motherhood. Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? It's like, how many moms out there have had sad days in their first 3-4 years of raising their kids? Can you just stop it? Just turn it off? Just not feed your kid that day because you're a little sad, or you had a bad day at work, or you and your hubby got into a fight? No, you do it anyway. In the skill building world, like learning how to play piano, learning how to sing, whatever it is, the best way to get excellent at that skill is to do it despite how you feel, despite the emotions. If you're sad, if you're angry, if you're upset with somebody, you do it anyway. You practice your scales anyway, and then you become excellent. Like world class. When you learn that you can command your body to do something despite how you feel, which is a skill in and of itself, then your doors will bust wide open. Bust wide open. Your doors will bust wide open. Moving on. AITA for choosing to go to my grandfather's funeral over my unborn daughter's 20-week ultrasound. My wife and I are expecting a baby girl due in November. We are both so excited for it. I've been talking to her through my wife's belly, being excited, feeling the kicks, all the fun stuff. 3 weeks ago, we scheduled the 20-week ultrasound. It'll be closer to 22 weeks. Okay, so there's like one 20-week ultrasound, so there's like one important ultrasound. Is that what I'm understanding here? The last week and a half, my grandfather's health has been slowly diminishing. I had a talk with my father and family, and we're told that sometime within a week of his passing, he would have the funeral. This made my wife and I have to talk about the plan. I was asked to be a pallbearer at the funeral. That's a big deal, right? Isn't that the guy who brings in the casket? Like you share the weight of the load? That means that you're close to your family. That means that you're close in some way or another, doesn't it? She said she'd want to stay home with the dogs so we didn't have to board them and that I could go by myself to the 4 to 4.5 hour trip up north to my father's hometown. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away late last night, early this morning. I called my father to make sure he was okay, which he was holding on as much as one would when your father passes away. But I was told the funeral would be held at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. This just so happens to be the exact same day that my wife has the ultrasound. My wife is now upset that I planned to go to my grandfather's funeral instead of going to the ultrasound appointment. I said, well, we could FaceTime, but it's my grandfather. I know FaceTime isn't the same, but she said, yeah, but this is your daughter. Oof. She's feeling a lot of feelings. You know, anytime you go to the hospital and you got a baby in there and an ultrasound and you're there around all these machines and these people and, you know, I guess you fantasize about wanting your husband or your partner to be there with you and to help absorb the information that you're about to receive. That's a practical application. Somebody else is there to catch anything that you miss. If they're like, hey, oh, you got to stop drinking bee oil. You got to stop drinking oil from those hives, lady. And you were scrolling on Instagram during that time? You're gonna wish your husband was there. And now she's comparing like your daughter over your grandfather. You know, it's not just my grandfather. It's my grandfather's funeral. My dad, you know, I'm there to support my dad emotionally. I'm there to support, I don't know. Let's keep reading. Now she's mad and upset at me. I'm emotionally torn from this because I'm so excited for my baby girl, but also really sad about my grandfather. I want to know if I'm the asshole here. My wife's feelings are always going to be valid, but I feel like mine aren't being considered in this situation. I don't know. I really think that your wife is scared to go by herself, or she's feeling some kind of feeling about going to the hospital for this checkup. Maybe she's nervous. And if she goes there and gets bad news, she would really want you there. With that said, I think it is a little narrow-sighted on her end to not understand this. You're going through a loss here, and you should go to your grandfather's funeral. And that's that. Can you encourage her to, like, yes, FaceTime in, but also can you be like, hey, bring a friend too or something? Like, I want you to feel supported and all this stuff. And I'm so excited about my daughter. Please don't tell me how I feel about my daughter coming into this world with you. I'm so excited. I love you. I really wish you would understand how I really feel like I need to be there. It's important for me to be there and honor my grandfather and be there for my father who just lost his dad. Like, this is a really important thing. Is there a way to reschedule the ultrasound? Is there a way? Probably not, huh? I would call and check and see. Do you have any last minute cancellations? NTA, the appointment could be rescheduled. The funeral cannot be. I've delivered 5 children. I was glad when my husband could be at my appointments, but often he couldn't be. It's not the end of the world. Interesting. Also, not a big fan of her using, yeah, but this is your daughter as like leverage. A little weird. I don't like that. I don't like that being used as leverage. Unless it were him wanting to go out drinking with the boys in exchange for the ultrasound visit, then that's weird. I don't understand why the answer isn't automatically to reschedule the appointment. There's a family member's funeral. Why isn't the wife's automatic reaction to immediately call the doctor's office and request it to be moved after she's comforted her husband, of course? I get that Off's wife probably has a lot going on in terms of hormones, but getting upset at Opp for going to his grandfather's funeral instead of this checkup seems really heartless to me. It does seem heartless, doesn't it? Yeah. My guess is that it's stemming from a feeling of fear. That's my guess. It sucks. He's going to a funeral. It's not like he wants to be gone, burying his grandfather with his very sad dad. Everybody's saying reschedule. Everybody reschedule. A 20-week ultrasound is important, but can be rescheduled. You only get one funeral. You only get one. For mine, I am going to hide a bunch of timed fireworks in my casket, and I'm going to set them all off the second the casket starts lowering into the ground. They will be timed. It'll be very specific. They will hear the fireworks. They will open up the casket, see the fireworks coming out of the casket. They'll be going, oh man, oh, what a crazy trick. He must still be alive. But no, that's the real trick. I've been dead for years. Outro.